When a player is already a two-time All-Star and All-NBA selection by the age of 22, that's someone where it feels like the sky might be the limit. That being said, Anthony Edwards this season has taken yet another leap offensively, and as hard as it is to believe, is even more of a nightmare for opposing defenses. I'm going to take a deeper dive into Edwards' offensive game and show why this version of him is ideal for the modern NBA, and the blend of his skills could make him a first of his kind player. After the NBA world got over the collective shock of the Timberwolves trading Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks, one of the first questions asked was, what does this do for Minnesota's spacing? They brought in Dante DiVincenzo, who's a very capable shooter, but Julius Randle would be replacing Towns in the starting lineup. While Randle's a multi-time All-NBA player in his own right, his three-point shooting is erratic. That is a far cry from Towns, who is already one of the best shooting big men in NBA history. Many figured this would make things tougher for Edwards, but he had other ideas. Playing in the Olympics can provide a player with various opportunities. Not only do you get the chance to represent your country, but you can also pick up things from your peers as well. In the case of Edwards this past summer, he got to practice alongside the likes of Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant as he worked on improving the mechanics and footwork of his jump shot. This obviously is a gradual progress that doesn't happen overnight, and Edwards himself has made other tweaks. However, look at the difference. Here's a side by side of Edwards taking catch and shoot jumpers over the past two seasons. His shot last season is on the left, and you can see his legs are farther apart from each other, and his right elbow pointing out makes more of a V shape. Meanwhile, on his shot this year, his legs are closer together, the release appears slightly higher, the right elbow is shaped more like an L, and it's a more fluid motion. These changes have been working, as at the time of this recording, he's shooting just under 42% on threes off the catch this season. Now, here's some of the scary news. Edwards, with his performance this year, has entered elite company as an outside shooter. He became one of four players in league history to make 300 or more threes in a year. The more impressive is the efficiency given the volume. Currently, Ant is making 39.7% of his threes while taking over 10 a game. The only players to eclipse that over a full season are Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Damian Lillard. For most people, those are the best outside shooters in this era of basketball. These new changes have also made Edwards even more dangerous out of pick and roll, where he ranks in the 86th percentile as a scorer on a per possession basis. One huge reason for the improvement here is Ant is shooting 39% from three off the dribble this season, compared to 33% last year, though he can also create for teammates out of the action as well. Here, Ant gets in the pick and roll where he's defended by Dorian Finney Smith with Luka Garza as the screener. The moment Edwards uses the screen, LeBron James, who is defending Garza, steps in to alter a potential drive, though Ant creates some space sidestepping to his left behind the arc. Given his willingness to take and make step back threes, Finney Smith is scrambling here to try and contest the potential jumper. Instead, Edwards anticipates this and gets his defender in the air on the flyby, then calmly gets into his three that he knocks down. Ant here is defended by an all-defensive player in Alex Caruso as Jaden McDaniels comes to set a screen. Though Caruso does a great job of blowing it up, and Edwards has to try going left here before McDaniels sets another screen. Following this, Ant got a switch and is now defended by Chet Holmgren. Chet's an elite defender and very mobile for his size, though Edwards has an athletic gear that few can match as he goes baseline and blows right by him for the reverse layup. Shortly after crossing half court, Edwards is handling the ball as the Timberwolves are in a horn set where Naz Reid's in the left slot, and another big in Rudy Gobert is about to set a screen on PJ Washington. As Ant uses the screen, you can see as Gobert is rolling that Daniel Gafford, who was initially on Rudy, is defending the ball, and Spencer Dinwiddie rotates away from Mike Conley to prepare for the role. Though there are now a few potential advantages here, as Gobert would have a size advantage getting the ball on the roll, and Conley likely has a clean look from three. As Gafford drops back slightly, you could see Ant already has the ball up to throw a pass, though in this instance, he makes the skip pass to Conley, who knocks down the corner triple. Ant starts here on the left baseline as Rudy Gobert comes to set a screen, though after utilizing it, the Grizzlies blitzed Edwards as now Scottie Pippen Jr. and Zach Edey are defending the ball. However, if Edwards is drawing two defenders, that means someone will be unaccounted for. Ant makes the pass to Gobert, and Jaren Jackson Jr. rotates to help. Though look at this situation now. All Grizzlies defenders are looking at the ball, and 3 of them have feet in the paint. Meanwhile, on the right side of the floor, you have Jaden McDaniels already in stride, cutting from the right slot. Gobert finds him, and the attention Edwards drew helps lead to a layup. Another area where Edwards has improved this season is scoring off handoffs. He's been utilized a bit more out of this action, and after ranking in the 53rd percentile on a per possession basis last year, ranks in the 77th this season. Part of that is Ant shot a ridiculous 50% on threes out of handoffs, but his ability to get downhill on these also makes him incredibly dangerous. Here, Ant gets the ball coming off a screen, and while he looks to get downhill, his defender is right behind him, and another rotated to help on the drive. As a result, Edwards resets by passing to Naz Reid. After working his way back towards Reid and cutting towards the ball, Ant receives it and now has a head of steam and a step on Patrick Williams. With Edwards' athleticism and little resistance in the paint, this is one of the last things the defense wants to face. Julian Phillips is there in the restricted area to help as Ant gets downhill, but he floats it high off the glass, resulting in 2 points. Some throughout this season have said that Edwards is settling for threes instead of driving to the hoop and utilizing the skills he's showcased as a slasher. I'm here to tell you that isn't an issue, as Ant is still driving to the basket frequently. With just over 13 drives per game, according to the NBA's tracking data, he's averaging 1 less drive than last year, though he's averaging 8.5 points per game off them, which doesn't account for assists off them either. On top of that, of the players who have 400 or more drives this season, Edwards is 4th in the percentage of his drives that lead to fouls. You know how countless people say that Stephen Curry and the Warriors ruined the NBA and basketball with their shot selection? If they truly believe this, they're blaming the wrong team. The Houston Rockets, around that same time, popularized what's known as Morey Ball. This is named after their GM at the time, Daryl Morey, who built a team around the philosophy of generating three-pointers, shots at the rim, and free throws as opposed to mid-range jumpers. What you think of this style is personal preference, but from a sheer numbers perspective, it makes the most sense to play this way in the modern NBA. No player defined this style like James Harden. For a 6-year stretch from the 2015 through 2020 season, Harden had at least 65% of his shot attempts come from either behind the three-point line or 0 to 3 feet from the basket. That doesn't even account for his free throw rate, which is free throws attempted divided by field goals attempted, which was typically over 50. At the time of this recording, 67% of Edwards' shots this year have been either three-pointers or shots 0 to 3 feet from the basket. While Edwards hasn't yet mastered the dark arts of drawing free throws like Harden, his free throw rate of 31 is still well above league average and would be the second best of his career. Now here's the scary thing. What Harden had in drawing free throws, Edwards has in shooting. In that prolific 6-year run, Harden averaged 10 threes a game, shooting 36% from deep. Edwards is taking that this year, shooting just under 40% from 3. His effective field goal percentage, which accounts for threes being worth more than twos, of 54.6%, is better than any season Harden had in that stretch. So what am I trying to get at here? There are very few instances where a player has had the blend of efficiency and volume that Edwards has had shooting from 3, while also getting to the rim and free throw line at the frequency he does. There are seasons by Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard in 2020, and to an extent Harden, though those players achieved that in their late 20s and early 30s. Edwards is still 23, which makes him younger than a bunch of players in the most recent NCAA tournament. On top of that, this is all in the first season with the mechanical tweaks he's made to his shot. I'm not sure what the rest of this season holds for the Timberwolves in a crazy Western Conference, though Edwards might still only be scratching the surface offensively and might help set the standard for scoring in this next era of NBA basketball in the process. If you made it this far, thank you, and if you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to stay up to date on my basketball analysis throughout the 2024-25 season.